Hey everybody, this is Mike Bono from the North Andover Athletic Association, and you are listening to the Nightly News Podcast, the show that brings you inside the lines of North Andover High School athletics. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Nightly News Podcast. We have our special guest today, Coach Steve Zella from the North Andover High boys lacrosse team. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And Al, welcome back to the podcast.
Mike, how are you?
Before we start chatting with Coach Steve, just want to throw out there again the shamelessly plugging the Night of Comedy on Saturday, April 8th.
Correct.
At the Collider.
Yep.
Doors open at
7. Show
o'clock.
starts at 8. There'll be some raffle prizes. And as we are taping right now, it's about 5 weeks away, a little less than 5 weeks, so we're getting close.
Yeah, and if you want to sit with your friends, buy a table of 10 for
$10 for $275.
$275.
Individual tickets, $30 a piece.
And all the money goes back to the athletic program. So when you see those awesome new scoreboards, the awesome scorers table in the gym, the wind screens, the pitching machine, all those things all come from your donation. So thank you for that.
Not to mention $4,000 a year in scholarships.
There you go. All right, Coach Steve, welcome again to the podcast. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
So by my count, you've been coaching North Andover boys high school lacrosse since 2019.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and you're not a townie like a lot of the people we have here. They're townies. They're born and bred. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and your lacrosse background, personal background.
So I graduated from Weymouth High School, played there as a captain in 1995, and then I went on to play for nationally ranked Springfield College. Graduated in 99, had a great career there. Right from college, I went on to coach at the University of Hartford, which was a Division I program, and I was there for 5 years while getting my master's degree in education.
Nice.
So I did get my bachelor's of science in phys ed, which I'm a phys ed teacher now, but I went to school to play lacrosse and coach, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I still play, still coaching. It's been 24 years of coaching.
You're a lacrosse junkie.
Yes.
From everything you can't get away from it.
Yes, lacrosse consumes me. It's what I do. It's my livelihood pretty much. So there's a lot of pride and passion in my work and my coaching, and hopefully it carries on to the players and the team here at North Andover.
So I'm not a lacrosse. I've never played lacrosse, but and I'm not calling you an old man, but is there old man lacrosse, 40-year-old lacrosse?
Old man lacrosse, yeah. Yes.
So that's
over 40, yeah.
Over 40,
yeah.
Okay.
Do they modify the rules at all?
No,
when you get to that,
no, they
just
don't.
Same rules.
Same rules. Yeah, I play for North Shore.
Okay, cool. Awesome. And so you, prior to coming to North Andover High, you were the coach of Brookline for 12
seasons,
years,
yeah.
right? And if I read correctly, the program was it was disaster is overstating it, but they hadn't really won too many games. And then you came in, and it seems like you turned the program around.
Yeah, my goal was to really take a program that was struggling and flip it to a state contender. And my first year there, we were 3-17. It was tough. I really had to build the culture there. But once we moved on through the course of the years and built with the youth and got the culture of the team right, we started winning a lot of games, making it to the playoffs. We had 4 or 5 nice playoff runs there. We won 106 games there, which is a lot because they weren't winning games at all. People just circle us as an automatic win, and that changed real fast.
Talk a little bit about the difference between going into a program like Brookline, which wasn't successful prior to you, and then coming to North Andover, which was, pretty strong for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, the coaching style needs to be, you're still coaching the same principles, but the players, you got better athletes, better kids, and you got kids that can do things that, are not really what the coach wants to do sometimes, but they have that athleticism, and so you kind of have to instill discipline in those players, and also you got to let them go. I had to micromanage the Brookline kids and basically joystick them in games and put them in the right spots. And the North Andover kids are, they're a lot more athletic, and they have a higher IQ, and they have the skills and the athleticism to put themselves in the positions to help our teams win.
Question that we often ask, we've asked a lot of the coaches, again, like Mike, I never played lacrosse, watched a few games, but don't know a whole lot about it. Is the AAU or club, is that a big aspect of lacrosse now, like it is with softball and basketball?
So there's a lot of clubs around Massachusetts and all over the country. I coach in Massachusetts, which I've been in since 2017. My son plays, my daughters play. It's one of the top clubs. But yes, our players play in different clubs. We have kids in HCR. We have kids playing for the Twisters. We have kids playing for Guerrilla Lacrosse. So,
is there a difficulty, or do you run into? We've asked this in hockey a lot too. They play a system with their club team, or their club coach wants them to do this when this happens, and now they're on your team. Do you get any issues?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I don't really judge any of my players on what club they're in. When they come to me, and we're playing for North Andover High School, we're playing North Andover Lacrosse. We're not playing Massachusetts or HCR. We play our own style, and the way we play our games and the way we plan for our games is it's based on our personnel and what type of players we have at the time. So it's we throw some different aspects of the club lacrosse into our game plans once in a while. Throw a couple plays in from Massachusetts if we need to, but most of the stuff is my own. And what I think is going to help our players be successful on the field. I don't ever judge a kid based on what club they play on, because people play a club for different reasons. There might be a club that's close to them. They might have siblings that play. And, at North Andover High School, I'm going to put the best players in the field no matter what club they're in.
What, it slipped my mind. One question I was going to ask, you said you had 2 kids playing lacrosse. How old are your kids?
I have 3. Steven's 12. He's on the 29 black team for Massachusetts. And then my daughters are 10, going to be 11, and they play on the 2030 black team for the girls' side.
Cool. 2030, man.
Yep.
Getting old.
2030, they're in 5th grade.
So the question that I was going to ask came back to me. I am an old man, so I easily forget things. What percentage of kids on on North Andover High School play club lacrosse versus not playing?
I'd probably say about half of them on the varsity playing a club, and the half don't, and which is okay. Most of the kids are playing other sports, which is what we like. I really want athletes. I want kids competing, fall, winter, and spring. I think that there's there's a lot to be said about a kid that competes throughout the course of the year, and you're competing against another town, another jersey. You got to get motivated, and I think it's good practice for our team. And because when they come to me, we're all about winning games in the process of winning. So, but their sticks need to be ready. They need to be fluent with both hands. They need to be able to shoot with both hands. They need to be able to dodge with both hands. They need to be able to handle the ball when they get when those seasons are over, if they're not playing club. That's my biggest concern. But a lot of our kids will put the work in, and they will be ready come March 20th.
I know that the MVC is strong in everything, but lacrosse is probably different in that there's probably 5 or 6 towns that don't have lacrosse teams, I'm guessing. At least Lawrence. I know Lawrence doesn't have lacrosse.
No.
Who's the competition in the MVC?
In the MVC for us, it's been Bill Ricca. We came in second to them last year. Lost to them in the conference championship game at their place. We beat them the first time. Second time around, they had some players back. We didn't execute really well in the first half. We didn't shoot the ball well. Couldn't win face-offs. And then we switched to a 10-man ride and came back in the second half, but it was just too much. We lost 16-10, but they're the team to beat in my eyes. Andover's going to be good. Central Catholic has been good in the past. When I first got here, they were really strong. Chelmsford is always going to be there, so I would say in the MVC, I think this year it's between us, Bill Ricca. I think Andover's got a pretty good team, and Chelmsford and Central, you can never count those guys out.
How many of those teams do you think will make states?
All of them.
Yeah,
all of them. All those teams are going to make states just because of the strength of schedule.
All those 5.
Yes, Central got in last year, and you got Drake at 2. They got a Division I face-off kid. Coach Ganley does a nice job with that team too. We can't take anybody light. So you ask me who the best is. I think it's Bill Ricca, but in my mind, and what I tell the players is everyone's good. We don't treat anybody differently. Game day is game day, and you don't wait till game day to get to decide that you want to win a game. Winning happens in the off season and it happens at practice.
Sure. What other sports did you play growing up?
I played football and I ran track.
What was your event?
I ran the 4x800,
Nice.
2 state titles,
Nice.
a New England title.
Nice.
Yeah, so.
I read something that says your winning formula equal hard work, execution, and discipline
Yeah.
equals wins. Can you just
does.
talk about those 3 things, like what that means to you?
Yeah, hard work. I mean, listen, like last year after we lost to Franklin, the first day of this 2023 season was the day after that. And it means running, it means getting your sticks where they need to be. So the hard work it's on the players, and a lot of the times it's without me watching them. They have to do it on their own. Discipline, same thing. Doing the right thing when no one's looking, and putting yourself in the right spots to help your team win. And if every kid can have discipline and work hard and execute what we do, then we're going to win games. Along with that, you need to have persistence and you need to be resilient too, because not everything's going to go your way every game. You got to be able to overcome adversity in game, and our guys do a really good job of that. We have a lot of good team camaraderie, and we always stay persistent on the goal, which is winning a state title. And they just always got to keep their eyes on that goal throughout the course of every practice and every game, and it has to happen for 4 quarters.
I think I read somewhere the practices. Some of these practices are pretty early, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. How the heck are you getting high school kids out of bed that early? Because give me the formula. I need that formula
if they
too.
don't come to practice, they don't play. Is
There you
that a
go.
good formula?
How about, all right, so for my kids, you don't feed them if they don't wake up.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, we'll play on Friday nights, and then Saturday is going to be off. And just for me to know that on Saturday night, for them to know that they have to get up on Sunday morning at 6 a.m., it keeps them in the house. It keeps them from going out late. It's a way of me managing them and seeing them in the morning and making sure that everything's good and that we're ready to I mean, think about it. We play Tuesday, Friday schedules in the conference, so we can't have just one practice on Monday. You can't have Saturday and Sunday off. You just can't. You got to go 6 days a week, especially with the schedule we play. So I have to know that they're ready. We have to start. Saturday is usually a film day for me. I'm scouting. I'm breaking down film. I'm preparing. The 5 Ps, proper preparation prevents poor performance. I'm a huge believer in that, and these kids are always, my players are always ready to play. We always make sure that we have our matchups. We know what the other team's doing offensively and defensively. We know where they slide from. We know who their scorers are, and we always make sure that we're matching up our best players on their best players, and just finding ways to win. And it happens at practice. It happens early in the morning. I find that I get a lot of good focus out of the kids early in the morning because they're not thinking about anything else. They're not thinking about school or their girlfriends or whatever else they have on their 16, 17, 18-year-old minds. But so I get a lot of production out of them in the morning. We'll go over the scout, and then usually on Mondays it'll be a walkthrough practice, which short but sweet, productive. Again, there's a game plan for every opponent. Some of the weaker opponents, when I don't give them a scout, or I'll give them something small, they kind of know. And like, Coach, is this team good that we're playing? And I'd say to them, everybody's good. And they kind of know.
Do they play down to that level sometimes?
Never.
Because
no,
okay.
we don't allow that, and that's so sometimes at the scout, if there's not a lot on the scout report, you can tell they're looking around, talking to each other. Yeah, this team's not that good because our coach would be giving us more, and sometimes they're right. But
and some of the kids who don't get as much playing time might be like, hey, this might be my chance to show something.
Those are the type of games where we get our young guys in as well and get them playing time and get them in the scoring book.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have a full JV varsity freshman?
Yeah, we have. So this year we have 50 players out, which is a lot. We have 10 seniors. We got a bunch of juniors and sophomores. We have 17 freshmen. So I just put together a freshman schedule the other day and sent it over to Mr. Nugent with close to 13 games. So they're going to be playing a lot of lacrosse because the freshmen are going to need it. we can lose a lot after this year, but the goal is we're not trying to rebuild, we're trying to reload.
Restock.
So it's important that these freshmen play the freshman games and the JV games, and they're getting double, and they're on different days. So they could play as many as, 40 games this year.
Nice.
40 to 50 games.
Who are your sub-varsity coaches and your assistants?
So my assistant coach is Adrian Peacock. He's excellent. He graduated from Endicott. He was an all-conference player, and he was actually the MVC Assistant Coach of the Year last year, which he deserved. He's in charge of the defense. He's got multiple defensive schemes that we use against our opponents. We throw a lot at him. We don't just go man. We go man, we go zone, we lock two, we lock one. We do a lot of different things on defense
Where did
to
he play in high
confuse
school?
teams.
Sorry to interrupt. Where did he play in high
He's
school?
from Bill Ricca,
He's a Bill Ricca,
ironically.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Okay.
a big game for him.
Yeah.
It's a real big game for him. So, he's always up for that one.
Sure. JV and freshman coaches?
My JV coach is Eric LaRochelle. He's the former president of North Andover Youth Lacrosse. His son is on my team. He's got 12 years of coaching experience, and he cares a lot about North Andover Lacrosse. So we were lucky to have him this year.
Nice.
To be the JV coach. Gerald Keene is the assistant coach. His son Trey is on my team, and those guys are going to coach the JV, even though their sons are on the varsity. So they're going to be able to do it because the JV games are before our games, so they'll be able to coach and watch their sons play.
Good.
And we also have AJ Keating, who is a 2016 graduate of North Andover High School at DePaul. He was a captain here. He's in the Coast Guard. He's an active Coast Guard. He does active duty, and he's going to be new, but he's going to be working with the varsity, and he'll be helping coach with the JV and the freshmen as well. So he's going to kind of be, with all three teams.
Right.
For my team, he'll be running the substitution box during the games, and so we have 5 solid guys. It's really hard to find coaches around here sometimes. When I was in Brookline, you had the young kids that got out of college. They want to live in South Boston, around the Brighton area. It's easy to get really good coaches there. I would have as many as 7 or 8, and it was easy to get them, and they were all excellent players. So, but up here it's a little bit different. So it's tough to find good coaches, and I think that we got, with myself and the other 4 guys, I think we have the right stuff. We have the right guys coaching these boys. So I expect a lot of growth and development from the JV and the freshmen. And I told them all in the room, we got 10 seniors that are leaving. They're graduating. So it's going to be reload, and you guys need to put the work in, and you need to get your sticks where they need to be. We have a lot of athletes. We don't have a lot of lacrosse players for these young guys. The older kids are more athlete/lacrosse. These kids are all athletes, and a lot of them are raw, and they have good skills, but they just need coaching and a lot of practice.
They haven't been playing lacrosse since they were 6 years old.
Some of them have. Some of them have, but we do have a lot of new kids too.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about the North Andover Youth Lacrosse Association. Do you have a relationship with them?
Yes,
Does
I do.
I know the girls basketball team and boys basketball team.
They do clinics all the time. And
Yeah, they do clinics on Saturday or Sunday mornings. And what's the relationship between your group and
You guys are going to like this one. So the new president of North Andover Youth Lacrosse is a guy named Brian Bendig, who played lacrosse for me at the University of Hartford my first year coaching when I was 22. And
completely coincidental.
So so
maybe you are an old man.
I'm not that old.
No, I'm just joking.
So we played together.
Yeah.
I coached him. We played together on several men's league teams. He was a really good player, knows a lot about the game, and he was all conference player at U Hartford. He got drafted by Columbus, played for New York Saints, played for Buffalo, and played for the Philly Wings and also the Boston Blazers. So he's a guy he's played at the highest level, and the relationship with him is good. We're gonna, last year I did 4 clinics on a Sunday in March, and then we did 4 other clinics for the U9, U11, U13, and U15. So we plan on doing that again. We're going to have North Andover Youth Lacrosse night on a Friday night lights. The kids all make a tunnel, the players run through. It's really good for the community, and it's good for North Andover. The parents are there. It's a night game. Really good environment. Last year it was at Chelmsford game. We want to do it more. And we're going to have our guys help out. This year is new. We're going to have a couple players work with the futures, which are the really young kids on Sunday mornings. So we've got a good thing going, and it all starts with the youth.
Right.
And the head coach needs to be in with the youth, and that's me and my players. We coach these kids. We do fun drills, fun games. They compete. It's competitive, and the players really get into it. And I think hopefully the goal is to motivate all those kids to come and play for me. And I often say, you guys are going to come play for me, and in a few years it's going to come fast. And they get excited, and they come to the games. They see me around, see me on the sideline. I see a lot of kids. They'll be down there at practice shooting around on the other field. So
Right.
a lot of them are right behind our bench during games, even though they're not supposed to be. But there's we got to definitely, we have a large group of kids that follow and look up to our varsity players.
That's great.
Question I think I've asked every coach: what do you say to the 7th grader or the 6th grader that wants to play for you 3 or 4 years from now? What should they be doing? How much should they be playing?
Well, if they want to play for me, that means they're going from 8th grade to 9th right to varsity. So it's going to take some building blocks, and it depends on the kid really. Like, they need to constantly be practicing. They need to have a weak hand for sure, and they need to be able to throw and catch with both hands. They need to be able to dodge. They need to be able to run. We do a lot of running, so they need to be conditioned. They need to be able to pick up ground balls.
What's the hardest thing to learn for a 11-year-old?
Probably to shoot with your weak hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throwing, catching, shooting with their weak hand.
Yeah.
Dodging to their weak hand. Yeah, I'd say that's probably the most difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ground balls are probably the most basic. But kids, you'll see kids when they're 6th and 7th grade, and then they get to me, and they don't look the same because they've grown about a foot and they've gained 20, 30 pounds. Right. So those once little kids now, they get to me and they're bigger, faster, stronger, and but they have to have the skills to be able to play, and that's really a big demand for those 7th and 8th graders. That they're watching lacrosse, they're watching lacrosse, they're watching games, and from watching us, they can see what is going to be expected from them down the stretch.
Have you ever had a kid who just really athletic, maybe coming out of 8th grade, maybe coming out of freshman year, who's never played lacrosse but picked up a stick, like decided, hey, I don't want to play baseball anymore, I don't want to run track, or whatever it might be, that has contributed to a team, whether it be here
we have,
or somewhere else?
Not so much. Well, Charlie Dean came in as a freshman and scored 2 game-winning goals, big ones.
Hadn't played before?
No, he had played, but no, not really anybody who hasn't played can come in.
That was really the
maybe 1 or 2
okay.
when I was at Brookline. Fast, athletic kids that can run. Put them on the wing, have them pick the ball up, pass it, and come off. Give them a role. We use those kids as role players for the most part. Give them a job. It could be being a shut-off guy, shutting off an attackman, a fast, athletic kid that, is able to lock his guy off, play deny.
Sure.
We use them for that, but we don't ever use a kid that's never played to come and carry the team. That hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Mike, it's really we give those kids a job, one job, and go pick up the ball and come off, or go lock this guy off. Don't let him touch the ball. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. No, my daughter's a sophomore. She's played lacrosse when she was in 3rd grade or something, and she needs to do something or get a job. So I'm like, hey, so she's going to play girls lacrosse. She's not, whatever, she's going to try to stay in shape or whatever. But anyway, so I was just curious, if kids had that opportunity on the boys' side to play a JV or something if they haven't played before.
Yeah, sure, JV, of course.
Yeah.
But I thought we were talking varsity. Definitely JV. They can definitely be athletic and just get out there and get the ball. And if speed kills, if you're fast and you can shoot and you're athletic, then kids pick up the sport fast.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of hand-eye coordination, speed, athleticism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was a football player first, and football directly correlates to the sport of lacrosse. I feel with the contact. There was more contact in lacrosse when I was growing up. Now, some of the hits that they do right now, what that we did back in the 90s.
Can't do now.
They don't fly anymore. Yeah. And we had a lot more football players playing lacrosse back then.
So you're not going to be able to name everyone, but kids that you're going to lean on this year, maybe naming your captains.
Yeah, we got 4 solid captains. I got Matt Roy, Pat Roy, Brian Ferrulo, Tyler Fay. Tyler Fay is going to be this is going to be his second stint as a captain.
Nice.
He was the #1 defenseman in the MVC last year, and we're looking for big things out of him unanimously. We got the Roy. He was first team all conference last year. Brian Ferrulo returns. He's injured right now, but we're going to get him back on May 1st. He's got an ACL, so hopefully we'll get him back right after April break, and we'll have some new life and some more added depth to our team. But Brian's a really strong player. He's first team all conference, and Pat Roy, another elusive attackman, all conference player. Matt Roy, our goalie, they're twins. Both excellent players. I actually play with their uncle on North Shore, so I know the Roy family really well, and they know I expect big things out of them. And
so, I'm sorry to interrupt. With Brian out, there's obviously an opportunity for somebody to come in and play more than they would if Brian was in. But are there any other positions that it's a pretty open competition between 3 or 4
kids?
kids?
Yeah, we got. So we're returning to attack. Attack midi. There's definitely an open spot at the attack spot position, but I feel like we're going to be moving some middies. We're going to be moving some kids around. Some kids are going to be offensive players. They're going to have to know how to play midi and attack, which we did that with Charlie Dean and Ollie Lidster last year. Charlie, we would try to get him the short stick match up through the midfield, and we'd stick Ollie in there at attack, and just kind of got creative. There's a lot of creativity involved. And depending on who we're playing, so we can move guys around depending on matchups. But yeah, we're gonna need some guys to step up. Like I already talked to Trey Kane, he's a sophomore. He needs to. I'm looking for big points out of him this year. Jake Lenz knows he's gonna have to step up as well, and I think Jake will. It's his senior year, and he can make some explosive plays for us as well out there. Nice. So we're not really leaning on anyone, but I would say those 4. And you got Ian LaRochelle, who takes face-offs for us. He played a lot of DMA. I'm going to need him to probably play some offense this year. Our defense is solid. We have, with Faye down there and Hunter Scott back. He's a great football player, Hunter Scott. He's one of our tough guys on D. And Shane Fitzgerald. We got some big size on defense. Those 2 kids are big boys.
Good.
Braden Bethel will be running LSM. We
LSM,
have long stick midi. Yep. So
good, Al. That's pretty good.
We got Colin Willow is another one that can play midi or attack. We got another kid. We got a youngster, Tommy Farrell, that's a freshman. So we'll be looking to see what he can do. But other than that, everything is pretty much up for grabs. We do want to pick up where we left off last year. We were 15-5 last year. Our only losses were to top-ranked teams, BC High, Acton Boxborough, Andover, we missed on an empty netter at the end of the game, and obviously Bill Ricca, and then we lost. Franklin knocked us out.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you about the, you mentioned the record, and Franklin knocked you guys out in the round of 16. And
yes.
So as you look forward to this year, St. John's Prep has won the championship the last 2 years in a row. And I know you have them on your preseason schedule. Yeah. You also have one other, I think, St. John's and Xaverian on the preseason. And then, did I see this right? You have BC High at the end. Tell me a little bit about the scrimmage thought process.
Last year, I really put them through the gauntlet in preseason. We had BC High on a Saturday, and then St. John's Prep on a Tuesday, and then those 2 teams were 1-2 in the state. So that's who our goal as a program is to win a state title, and that's been the goal since I've been here. I didn't come here to lose. I came here to win games, and if you want to be the best, you got to compete against the best, and you got to beat the best. So I like to put our kids against the best early in the season. Starting with BC High, and then you go to St. John's Prep, and we actually kept it pretty close with BC High, and both the scrimmage and the game. that was in Duxbury in the Players Cup. And then St. John's Prep, they just, it was close for a while and they pulled away from us. But we it definitely exposes, when we play teams like that, they expose our weaknesses. We watch the film, me and Coach Peacock. The players look at it. We see where the mistakes are and what needs to be fixed. And then, we went out and we played Central Catholic and, we demolished them the first game of the season at their place. Which can be a tough place to play.
So are those games scrimmages, the St. John's and
yes,
Xaverian? They're scrimmages.
Yeah.
Okay. And then during the regular, and BC High at the tail end is a scrimmage.
So that is going to be, so Marcus and I are close friends.
The coach at BC High.
Marcus Craigwell. We're teammates together for the Mega Men, played box and indoor together. So we're friends. And we had the scrimmage every year, and he had an opportunity to go to out and do an ISL like a 3-team scrimmage. So he took that, and so we moved our scrimmage to the end of the year because it wasn't going to fit. So last year we had about 10, 12 days off before our first playoff game.
For the playoff.
So and it was just a lot. It felt like we were just practicing like days without an opponent. So. I scheduled them for June 1st. I have cold feet about doing a game scrimmage with them, so I just wouldn't want anybody getting hurt.
Sure.
Because that's a fine line, and you're playing with fire if you're going to try to do something like that.
Trying to control 16, 17, 18-year-old boys
exactly.
to understand that. Yeah.
Worst thing could ever happen there is an injury. So what we're going to do is we're going to probably do a controlled practice with them. Do some drills with them, ground ball drills. We'll go 6-on-6 with them. Our offense versus their defense, and then we'll switch it. We'll go, their offense versus our defense. We'll go man up and man down against their units. So, and we'll just get a lot of good productivity out of it without having guys get hurt, because that's what happens when you play in those big games. The kids, they overexert themselves, and that's when kids start getting injured. So, I think that's a really good, healthy, competitive. Like a scrimmage type.
Way to prep for the
It's
playoffs.
like a dual practice before the playoffs.
Sure.
And they're gonna be in the top 3.
Yeah. No, I saw it on the schedule before I got here, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And I had a feeling it was something to do with prepping for the tournament. But listen, it's been great to just learn about the program a little bit more, learn more about you. Anything else you wanna say to whoever's listening?
I do. I want to talk about the Players Cup Invitational Tournament.
Okay.
So I put together this tournament last year with the Acton Boxborough coach and Sean Wright, the Chelmsford coach, and we have 8 of the top teams in the state. And at the time last year, all 8 teams were in the top 20.
Oh wow!
So it's us, Reading, Needham, Melrose, BC High, Acton Boxborough, Duxbury, and Chelmsford. So those 8 schools, we're going to all play against each other. So the first day it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. All right, so it's the 18th, the 20th, and the 22nd. So the first games are going to be at one location. So 2 teams will be at 4 different sites.
Gotcha.
So we drew Melrose, so we're going there to play them. On our side of the bracket is Reading, Needham, and Melrose, along with us. And so Reading will play Needham, and then the winner of that will play down in Needham. And so that could be us versus Reading, which would be another a rematch of we beat them in 4 overtimes last year in Needham. So, and then the winner of that will play. So we have on Saturday, we got the host. So we're gonna have. I want everybody to know this. We have 4 games here with the top teams.
What's
in the
the
state.
date of that again?
That's April 22nd.
April 22nd.
So
Vacation week, right?
Yeah. There'll be this vacation week. Yes. So there'll be games at North Andover High School at 10, 12, 2, and 4.
Right.
And if we can beat Reading, and I think Reading's going to take Needham, but one of the whoever we have to play, if we win that game on Thursday, I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to take Melrose. But if we win on Thursday, I think we have a chance at playing in a championship game on our home field.
Awesome.
In all those games, they count towards
all those games count.
MIAA and all that stuff.
Yep, and
strength
they
of
all
schedule.
come here, and it's
Shoot me a text and let me know how it goes so I can tweet it out and get people there.
Yeah, no, we had a lot of people there last year. It was a great day.
Good.
We wound up playing actually Melrose that day. We played in the 2 o'clock and the defending champion of that was BC High, who beat Acton Boxborough in the final. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that, and again, 38 regular season practices, 2 scrimmages, 18 games. Right now we finished last year 12 in the state. I think that's probably where we're going to start this year. But and I told the guys that doesn't, that was last year, and it's more important this year on how we finish the season, rather than how we start or where we are at the beginning. So, we just need to be constantly trying to get better. We can never be satisfied. We always just have to keep trying to raise the bar and raise the standard. And the standards are pretty high. Players are going to have to make big sacrifices, which are going to equal into big results. And we're contenders every year. We'll play anybody anywhere. And that's the way it needs to be if you want to be in the picture and you want to be a state contender. So I feel very confident that the boys are going to come out on fire this year. I know they've been having captains practices. I know guys are pretty pumped up, jacked up for the season, and I think it's going to be a good year. And it should be interesting. We do have kids that are hurt. So kids are going to be coming on halfway through. So I think that the Ferrulo ad in early May is going to really lift our team a lot. And the good news about that is the other guys are going to have to step up before that happens. And so once he's back and those other guys are used to the varsity level speed, then I think that it's going to make our team a lot deeper. Yeah. So
that's great. Well, we'll be following along, and like Al said, give him the information. He'll tweet it out for the tournament. Get as many people there as possible, and best of luck to you. And hopefully you guys make a deep run and go all the way.
Yes, that's the goal.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you.